Welcome to LearnerStop. This is Samiksha, and in this video, I will discuss with you about the question that why is it said that India has asymmetric federalism. So, firstly, the main forms of administrative units in India. So, the first one is center, then states, and then all set up to address specific local, historical, and geographical contexts. Some other forms. So, they are the union territories which are having legislature and the one which are not having the legislature. So now when the constitution came into force, the various states and other administrative units were divided into several parts. So as you can see, part A was having states where that were erstwhile provinces, then part B contained erstwhile princely states and principalities, and part C contained erstwhile chief commissioners provinces. Okay, so the part C1, they became union territories, and some of them initially got legislatures and were later upgraded into states. Okay, so which states? Some examples I will give: Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and Goa. Okay, now Puducherry and Delhi have legislatures, while the other territories under the center do not have legislatures, and also you can say ministerial council to advise the administrator. Okay, now even between Puducherry and Delhi there is a difference. So what is the difference? Puducherry has powers on any matter mentioned in the state list or concurrent list insofar as it applies to the union territory. Delhi, which has the same field, has three further exceptions: police, land, and public order are outside its purview, means its control. So however, Parliament has overriding powers over any law made by the assembly in the union territories. Okay, Puducherry has one more unique feature. So what is it? So despite being a single administrative unit, the union territory is non-contiguous. That is, its territory is not limited to one extent of land. So besides Puducherry and its adjoining areas, it has enclaves located within other states also, like Karaikal, which is in Tamil Nadu, Yanam in Andhra, and Mahe within Kerala. So just as the center and the states do not have matching powers in all matters, there are some differences in the way some states and other constituent units of the Indian Union relate to the center. So this creates a notable asymmetry in the way Indian federalism works. Okay, now talking about special status of Jammu and Kashmir. So what is special status and how did it work in J&K? So the foremost example of asymmetry among center states ties was in the way J&K related to India until valid until August 6, 2019, the day the president declared that its special status ceased to be operative. Okay, so under Article 370, the state was allowed to have its own constitution, its own definition of permanent residence, the right to bar outsiders from holding property, and the privilege of not having any Indian law automatically applicable to its territory. Okay, so Indian laws had to be specifically permitted by its assembly before it could operate there. It was allowed to have to own penal and criminal procedure codes. So the president was empowered to notify from time to time the provisions of the constitution that could be extended to the state with or without modifications. Alright, this was the issue of special status of J&K. Now talking about Article 371. So you can see I have written the names of few states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Manipur, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Arunachal. Okay, now these are the states which are having this special status which is given by Article 371. So we can say that Jammu and Kashmir was not the only state having this special status. Now Article 371 says, like I will explain of the few states. Article 371 says the governor of Maharashtra has a special responsibility to establish separate development boards for Vidarbha, Marathwada, and the rest of the state, while the governor of Gujarat has a similar responsibility towards Saurashtra, Kutch, and the rest of Gujarat. So mainly, the responsibilities cover equitable allocation of funds for development expenditure and providing facilities for technical education and vocational training. So I have explained this. So uh, there are other states also which are having this article, and they enjoy the special status. Now I will move on to sixth schedule. So there is another significant tier of administration under the larger framework of asymmetric federalism. So the sixth schedule to the constitution contains provisions for the administration of tribal areas in states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So these create autonomous districts and autonomous regions. So any autonomous district with different scheduled tribes will be divided into autonomous regions. So these will be administered by district councils and regional councils. Now, these councils can make laws with respect to allotment, occupation, and use of land, management of forests other than reserve forests, and water courses. So, besides, they can regulate social customs, marriages, and divorce and property issues. Like in Assam, the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, Dima Hasao Autonomous District Council, and as you must have heard about, Bodoland Territory Council have been set up under the 6th schedule. So another 6 autonomous councils have been formed by acts of legislature. And lastly, Ladakh. So it has 2 autonomous hill development councils. They are Leh and Kargil. So Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council is in West Bengal. Okay. So this was all about the question related to why India is having a asymmetric federalism, why it has been said. So this is the end of the video, and thank you so much for watching, and keep learning and keep growing.